What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Wrestlemania 26. We are here once again back with Roman numerals and personally a much better design in my opinion. I like the 25th anniversary design, but it's stars. This actually felt original. I really enjoyed it. I also like the color scheme of it too. I thought the layout of the venue was really good. Glendale, Arizona. It's a very hot venue, very nice outdoor venue. I thought it fit sort of the scene really well. Another stadium show, of course, as they basically all became stadium shows from here on out. They're able to sell 75,000 tickets and they're not having a hit in attendance in any of them, so why stop there? This WrestleMania is absolutely filled with WrestleMania debuts, which I enjoyed a lot. This was March 28th, 2010. So we are slowly approaching the last WrestleManias that I watched live in person myself. Well, not in person, but I watched them live on TV, of course. I'm going to my first one in person in 2 weeks as of filming this. I am really excited. We're going to start off with the unified tag title match between The Big Show and Miz versus John Morrison and R-Truth. Honestly, not a ton here. Miz and R-Truth are making their WrestleMania debuts. Both have been around for a few years. They had just never cracked the WrestleMania card. A few good series, but this match was far too short to actually amount to really anything. It was like a 4.5, 5-minute match. I don't even think it has a review on Cage Match because it's less than 5 minutes. You can't do anything good with any type of substance in 5 minutes. You just can't. Well, you can. That is proven false at a much later WrestleMania that I haven't seen yet, with Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. But you can't really do that unless you're Brock Lesnar and Goldberg, right? This match just doesn't have enough time to do anything. It's an excuse to get the tag titles on the card. Didn't produce anything memorable. Didn't produce anything profitable. I gave it a 4 out of 10. It wasn't bad. It just didn't have a remote chance of being good. As you can tell, Rob agrees with me here, which is very scary. Me and Rob have been agreeing a lot lately, and it's very scary. We need to find something to disagree on, sir. All right, I'm gonna have to start telling you to disagree with me here. Okay? Hopefully, there's something on this card we don't agree with. Not this one. 4 out of 10. Next up, we have Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes versus Ted DiBiase. A match that when I was watching this live, I was super excited about. Doing this rewatch, I was super excited about seeing it. Mostly because I love seeing how wrestlers go from one gimmick to another, how wrestlers start and how they finish. And this is obviously true for both Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. Randy Orton is kind of in the middle of his career here. Cody Rhodes is at the beginning. Ted DiBiase hasn't gone to prison yet. So it's a fun triple threat. 2-on-1 for most of the first half until DiBiase goes to the pin, and then it becomes a true triple threat. Good series between DiBiase and Rhodes. Ends when Randy gets up and takes control. It's really interesting kind of how the crowd cheers for Orton after years of him being the main heel. He's been booed religiously, and then all of a sudden, he's the good guy. And this is kind of a trend you see with him for the next few years, is him being the good guy. Randy takes about 8 years to finally punt Cody, and then RKO's DiBiase. I just don't know if Randy needed to win here. I feel like this would have been a good chance to put over one of the other two. You could have done a lot of good things for the other two careers if you had put them over Randy. It makes sense to a degree. You know, they obviously need more seasoning, if you will, before you're ready to give them a mainline push. I just thought this was a bizarre decision to make him win. The match overall is okay. It just, again, it's something holding it back. And I don't know if it's the pacing. I don't know if it's DiBiase. I don't know if it's Rhodes. I don't know if it's Orton. But this match was a 5 out of 10. It was you could tell they were still green. Didn't generate anything extremely memorable except for being the end of Legacy. I gave this match a 5 out of 10. Rob agrees with me again. 5 out of 10. Please, man. Disagree. Something. Please. But a 5 out of 10. Unfortunate middling match. Next up, we have the Money in the Bank match between Jack Swagger, Christian, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, Evan Bourne, Kane, Kofi Kingston, Matt Hardy, MVP, Shelton Benjamin. way too many cooks in the kitchen. That's my biggest complaint about this match. No one has a chance to truly shine. Tons of botches early on in this ring. Great to see so many debuts in this match on the WrestleMania scene. I believe it's I know it's I believe it's Drew McIntyre's first it's baby Drew before he got all grizzled and actually swole up a little bit. Evan Bourne, I believe it's Kofi Kingston. No, Kofi Kingston was in the previous one, I believe. But still, a lot of debuts in this match. Kofi Kingston on stilts is definitely the highlight spot. Using the two broken the broken ladder, using both half of stilts to like walk over and almost get it. That was hilarious. I love Kofi, man. The dude is so fucking genius with his spots. Thought Drew McIntyre shined here. Crazy seeing Baby Drew knowing the grizzled version we see today. A good middle made up for a bad beginning, but couldn't save it. It crawls at the end. The end it's by far the most boring ending to a ladder match I think I've ever seen. I gave this match a 6 out of 10. Also, bad winner. Who the fuck wanted Jack Swagger to win this match? 6 out of 10. I gave it a C+. Please tell me Rob. Rob gave it a C+. You've got to be kidding me. Rob gave it a 6 as well. I gave it a 6. That's where it's going to go. I believe this is the last Money in the Bank ladder match. There might be a couple other ones. Or maybe at least one more. I can't remember 100%, but we're starting to get to the point where it's about to become its own event. And that's probably where it should stay, because these are starting to lose their WrestleMania luster, unfortunately. And again, ultimately, too many cooks in the kitchen. I feel like if this is an 8-man ladder match again, you're fine, you're solid. Maybe 7, 8 tops. 10, it's chaotic. It's honestly my biggest worry about the ladder match that's going to be coming up in WrestleMania 40. It's 5 teams, so it's 10 wrestlers. The only difference is it's only 5 teams. So it's effectively a 5-on-5 match. I'm okay with that, right? Well, not a 5-on-5, but it's a 5-person match effectively, but with 2 teams. So they're not going to be 10 people fighting each other. It's going to be, fighting amongst each other. It's going to be a much better match than this one was, even though there is the same number of heads. But again, just horrible botches. Next up, we have Triple H versus Sheamus. Nothing special. Nothing special, nothing bad. Rising Star and Sheamus goes toe-to-toe with the game. Typical heel beat down the face match, except unlike normal, Triple H is actually the face. So it's actually Sheamus beating up on Triple H, which is pretty interesting. I thought good on Sheamus to put over the young talent, gotta, great. Triple H wins this match. It's a growing issue with Triple H in general, and you see this really until WrestleMania 30. I think WrestleMania 30 is the only time where Triple H actually puts over a young talent. It's been an issue with him through the end of his career, politicking his way to WrestleMania wins, and it's unfortunate. Couldn't politic his way to the Undertaker streak, but he does politic his way through a lot of these, and this is unfortunately, Sheamus should have won. Again, for about the 3rd match in a row now, the wrong guy won. Sheamus probably should have won this match. Jack Swagger shouldn't have won the last one. Orton shouldn't have won the one before that. Overall, the crowd seemed to like the finish. Again, because Triple H was a face, so this is one of the few times where maybe Triple H winning wasn't a bad thing as far as the fans are concerned. But I don't know. I still feel like the wrong person won, but the match overall was a 6 out of 10. And Rob also thinks it was a 6 out of 10. So that's where it's going to go. 6 out of 10. Rob seems to agree with me. I don't know how Rob feels about the winners of these 3 matches. He didn't put on here at all if he thought that was the right winner or not. But as far as the matches go, me and Rob are still on the same mindset here. We have finally linked brains as far as these matches go. Next up, we have Rey Mysterio versus CM Punk. This is when Punk is in his straight edge society gimmick. He started going heel. He started developing more of a unique presence. And again, this goes back to what I was saying earlier, when I love seeing how wrestlers get their start. You saw CM Punk as Money in the Bank the last 2 years, and of course we're just focusing on WrestleManias, but he would go on to be champion both times. So he was starting to cement himself as a mainline party in the overall grandiose scale of wrestling. So this was his first time as that big heel. He used to be the face. He cashed in the second time on Jeff Hardy. That caused the crowd to revert to booing him and turned him heel. And then he started the Straight Edge Society. I thought this match was phenomenal. They were cooking. Every ingredient in the kitchen was being used here. And then it ends after 6.5 minutes. Again, like I said, you cannot create a long-lasting impression in 6.5 minutes. They were doing so fucking well in this match. This could have been a Chris Jericho Shawn Michaels match, where it comes out of nowhere, is the match of the night, and it's an A classic. The best I can give this match is the 7, because they had 6.5 minutes. The counters, the flips, the flips into moves, moonsault into an almost GTS was perfect timing. The finish was clean, but God, man, just give these two 5 more minutes. Give them 10 minutes. I gave this match a 7 out of 10. Again, 5 more minutes, you have an A. Rob gave it a B as well. So Rob gave it a 7 as well. Honestly, probably the same mindset here, where you give these guys more time. And this match is perfect. Easily could have been match of the night. Easily could have been an A-rank classic. And instead we got a good match. Again, maybe... It's funny because I've literally just contradicted myself already in this one video. I said earlier you can't make anything lasting in 5 minutes. These two almost did. They created a 7 out of 10 match in 6.5 minutes. But still... the concept stands. It's not long lasting. When you think about WrestleMania classics, you don't think Rey Mysterio versus CM Punk. You don't. I didn't even know this match existed until I watched this. I'd forgotten about it. And I watched this live. Because you can't do anything memorable in 6.5 minutes. A 7's the best you're getting. Next up, you have Bret Hart versus Vince McMahon in a no holds barred match. So, not every match that me and Rob talk about can be an all-time classic. The next few match reviews are not going to be amazing matches. This match is not good. As you can see, Rob gave it a D-. I also gave it a D-. I gave it a 2. We both agree, again, but we both agree for different reasons. So, let's talk about it in today's match review. Welcome everyone to WrestleMania 26 match review. My name is Nomad. I am here with Tito. Tito. I've been told that I say his name funny when I say it like that. Tito. Speaking of funny, Vince McMahon. We're here to talk about Bret Hart versus Vince McMahon in a no holds barred match. Now, as I said leading into this, not every match that we review can be good. Matter of fact, over the next few WrestleManias, there is no good. There is okay, and there are some hidden gems, but we would be talking about Undertaker every single match review, and that is going to get tiring after a while. So, to make it so you guys don't just hear us talk about Undertaker and Shawn Michaels and Triple H for the next 5 WrestleManias, we're going to have to obviously talk about some stinkers. And so I try to pick ones that make it so we have something to talk about, right? So Vince and Bret Hart. Now, I'll go ahead and give my little review blurb here, and then you can give yours, and then we'll talk about Vince McMahon here. First of all, great to see Bret Hart back. Kind of, sort of, not really. He is very old, and he is no longer able to do half the things that he used to be able to do. I said that this was a very slow, brutal, and at most times boring beatdown of Vince McMahon. 11 minutes of Vince getting his shit kicked in, and his just desserts. This could have been cut by about 6 minutes and told the same story. The chair shots at the end were stiff, and definitely Bret Hart getting his licks back, but it got almost uncomfortable to watch. I'll give it a 2 for being what he deserved, but this wasn't good, and stopped being fun to watch a weak-aged hitman slowly trot around beating Vince before hitting him in the sharpshooter. So that is my review of this match. I gave it a 2. What did you give this match?
I'm 90% sure I gave this like a 1. I gave it a D-, yeah, so a 1.
A D- is a 2.
Or a 2, yeah.
Yeah, so we gave this match the exact same score.
I would have given this an F.
Did we give it a 2 for the same reason? That it was fun to see Vince McMahon get his ass kicked for 11 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I feel like it was a cheap way of saying,
I'm sorry for fucking you 10 years ago.
Bret Hart didn't screw Bret Hart. I'm sorry. Like, I feel like it was a cheap way. When you looked at the Harts, around the ring, on the outside.
Yeah, all the Hart family was around the ring.
You could tell that some of them were like, this is the biggest load of bullshit ever.
You could tell they didn't even want to be there. And the thing with this match is it wouldn't, like, I understand why he did it, but I still stand by what I said. This match could have been 5 minutes long, and it probably would have gotten a better score. I would have probably given this match a 4 or 5 if it was just 5 minutes of him beating the shit out of Vince McMahon. But you could tell that he could barely move. He couldn't hit hardly any of his moves. The Harts got involved on the outside and beat the hell out of him, but none of them did anything of substantial value. It was kind of interesting seeing Natalya smack the shit out of him, given that she was still employed by the WWE. But regardless, it kind of made me think about other Vince McMahon matches, because this isn't the first Vince McMahon match. And Vince McMahon has no problem embarrassing himself. You saw that with the hair versus hair match. You saw that with Hogan versus Vince. Shawn Michaels versus Vince McMahon is still the best actual Vince McMahon match. Mm-hmm. But even then, Vince McMahon let himself get his ass kicked. This was almost hard to watch, because I feel like it was just a pathetic old man beating up a pathetic old man. Not saying that Bret Hart's pathetic, but in this match, he can't move. Like, this is about the most that he can do is this. What do you think they could have done differently here? What would you have changed about this match?
Just the time. It was way too long for way too little substance. Mm-hmm. Why'd you freaking say it? Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
But, yeah, it was just a pathetic beatdown. I mean, you could tell Bret Hart wasn't fully into it. It made it really awkward that he was just in street clothes.
True.
Doing all this. Like, it didn't have the same, this is a Bret Hart match, regardless of his age. You know what I mean? Like, Ric Flair was always in gear. It always felt like a Ric Flair match. This did not have that same feeling whatsoever. If we didn't know what Vince McMahon did to Bret Hart, I probably would put this down as the worst match of all time. Worse than the...
There's a match coming up in a couple WrestleManias that's hard to get worse than.
If you don't count the real quick squash matches...
Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler still exist.
I think that was better than this.
I don't, but we'll talk about that one later. Well, I'll talk about that one later, because I'm not going to...
Or what was it, WrestleMania 2 or 3, the Fabulous Moolah match that I...
Oh, God. Fuck her. Jesus Christ. I wouldn't, but fuck her. Jesus, God, it's such a... Old people getting beat up just doesn't do it for me, man. It's like, if you were going to beat their ass when they were younger. Like, just this... Vince McMahon, just... God, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Outside of the time thing, I don't know what could have made this match bearable. I don't. Honestly, Vince McMahon having offense. Make this an actual match like he did with Shawn Michaels.
Even if it's just basic holds.
Yeah. Just have him do something. But he literally just let himself get beat around for 11 minutes for no reason. Like, it wasn't even embarrassing anymore. It's pathetic. Like, his antics with Donald Trump, where he got his head cut off and he's like, You're embarrassing me! You're making a fool of me! Like, at least that was something, right? Mm-hmm. He got annoying when he said it 18 times, but even that was still something. This was just fucking terrible. I would love to know y'all's opinions on this. Where did this match go wrong? Where did this match go right? Because the only thing that went right for me was the fact we got to see Vince McMahon get his ass kicked. I don't know. But I would love to know how you guys feel and what changes you would have made. And also, what is your favorite Vince McMahon beatdown match? Mine is Shawn Michaels. What would yours be?
Favorite Vince match?
Yeah.
The Shawn Michaels. Yeah.
Okay. So we're both in agreement. The Shawn Michaels match was the best one.
Yeah. I had to think back to the Stone Cold ones. I was like, those were good to a degree. But it just wasn't as good as the Shawn Michaels. Like the one Vince moment that stood out to me during that match was when he was all bloody and then he peeked over the apron.
It's such a good fucking shot, dude. I even talked about that in my review. If you go back to it, it's such a fucking terrifying shot. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's really all I've got for this match, guys. We're not going to have a ton for the next couple just because there really isn't a lot of things to talk about in these matches. But we also don't want to talk about Undertaker all night. So
this match is the best there is, the best there was.
And I'm the best there ever will be. When it comes to doing YouTube videos and Twitch streams, check me out on both places. Peace. Back to me. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and Rob there for that match review. Like I said, we both gave it a 2 out of 10. Different reasons, but I'm pretty sure we've exhausted this match. So we're going to move right on to the next one, which is Chris Jericho versus Edge for the World Heavyweight Championship. Coming into this match, the story was about Edge coming back from his 3rd injury in 2 years, and Jericho boasting about really never being injured. That was kind of the whole big story going in. He targeted all 3 of Edge's weaknesses throughout the entire match. Edge sold them very well. Jericho avoided the spear until the post-match brawl, of course. Edge showed he was resilient enough. Jericho had another successful title defense because Jericho did end up winning this match. He was the champion going in. This was, again, for the World Heavyweight Championship. And yeah, Edge walked away at the end while Jericho lay down on the barricade. The match was a 6 out of 10. I really can't give this match anything above that. Post-match and story... well, the post-match and story going in was good. The story going in was good. The post-match was great. The story that it told overall was good. So, I guess as a complete package, I'll give this match a 7 out of 10. And I guess it wouldn't really matter because Rob also gave this match a 7 out of 10. So it was going to be a 7 anyway. Once again, me and Rob are agreeing with every single match so far, as has been the trend for the last 2 WrestleManias now. So, you know what, Rob? I'm no longer bitter. I think maybe we have just completely aligned mentally here. Next up, we have the 10 women tag match. Alicia Fox, Layla, Maurice, Michelle McCool, and Vicky Guerrero versus Beth Phoenix, Eve Torres, Gail Kim, Kelly Kelly, and Mickie James. Vicky screaming. Obnoxious. Jerry bouncing between which woman he wants to sleep with after Mania ends. Obnoxious. On the same card as everyone beat up on Vince, everyone gets to beat up on Vicky Guerrero. She got her just results for being a menace to the women's locker room. Everyone gets to hit one move on each other, respective member of the other team, until this finally ends. Michelle takes out Beth Phoenix. Vicky has a splash on Kelly Kelly. Botches the fucking pin. Plays it off. Finally pins her again. What the fuck was this? This match was trash. 1 out of 10. This match it was a waste of time. There was nothing good here. Vicky is obnoxious. Jerry Lawler continues to piss me off whenever women are on the screen. It's horrible. Again, they botched the fucking finish. They botched the pin. She gets up before the 3 count and has to pin. It's terrible. 1 out of 10 F. Rob agrees, which this match didn't exist. It's horrible. 1 out of 10. Just garbage. Absolute garbage. It's terrible. Next up, we have John Cena versus Batista, who was the champion. This is for the World Championship. Rest holds. Rest holds and strength contest. Dominate the entire first half of this match. quite frankly, it's not very engaging. It's not fun to witness. It's not convincing. It's John Cena doing John Cena things. The diving 5-knuckle shuffle was really cool, as it's the first time he's pulled it out. The ending flurry of finisher 2 counts was fun and exciting, but it took so long to get here, I struggle to really care about it. You know, you expect a finisher flurry to end these WrestleMania matches, especially these main events or pseudo-main events. This was just bad. It took too long to get there. The more it went on, the more it made sense, and the second half was definitely more fun than the first half, but overall, this is a 6 out of 10. I didn't overtly care about this match a ton. I didn't think it was a great, you know, again, as I've said, it's a horrible beginning. The ending can't save it. It's a 6 out of 10. And holy shit, me and Rob actually disagree with something here. Rob thought this was much better than it, or well, I guess I shouldn't say much better because he gave it a B, not like an A. But, you know, Rob's obviously going to get this bumped up to a 7. Whether I necessarily agree that it belongs there or not, it's irrelevant here. You know what? I will gladly give it a 7 if it means me and Rob disagree on something. But again, the first half was so bad that I didn't care about the ending, which might have made it. Maybe the ending is 7 worthy, but the beginning is so bad I don't care anymore. I don't remember a lot of the highlight spots besides the diving 5-knuckle shuffle, the typical finisher flurry ending you'd expect by now. As I said, 6 out of 10, but we'll give it a 7. And finally, we have Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, streak versus career. Now, I have been obviously very open about my love for their WrestleMania 25 match. It's my favorite match of all time. We spent a lot of time discussing it, me and Rob did. I'm not sure if this match is better than the previous match. Obviously, the ending is much more iconic, given that it is the end of Shawn Michaels' wrestling career, and he actually, unlike Ric Flair, mostly stays retired, except very rare occasional spots. But this match is still a fucking classic. I love it. I do say the beginning of the first match was better. The first one was longer with more action overall. This is still a 10 out of 10 for me. These two just made magic when they came to blows. Even their non-WrestleMania matches were fantastic. Hell, even the match way back in the day when Kane first came onto the scene in 1998, the Hell in a Cell match between the two was still fucking good. It just didn't have a great ending because Kane interrupted it. But the match was still good. These two have always been good together. I know a lot of people rank it below the previous bout. I can't simply make this not a 10 because of that. Was it better than their WrestleMania 25 match? No. That's my all-time favorite match of all time. This match just has the greatest tombstone of all time at the very end to end Shawn Michaels' career. I thought the story was great. The finish, the post-match, the fact this launches a 2-match story with Triple H coming up, all of it's phenomenal. I gave it a 10 out of 10. Rob gave it a B+. I don't agree. His mentality, and I've actually talked to him about this when I saw these ratings. I actually spoke to him about this. We actually talked about this when we were recording the match review for WrestleMania 25. The reason he gave this match a B+ was because, in his mind, it was significantly less than the previous one, even if it was still an all-time banger. That's why he gave it a B+ and not an A. I still can't give this match, like I said, that previous match should have been an 11 out of 10. So a 10 out of 10 is still less than what I would have given the previous match had the scale had an additional number on it. It's going to average out to a 9 because of Rob's B+, but that is completely okay. It's still a significant match. It's still below their previous one, which it should be. Still an A-rank match overall. So, let's find out what this WrestleMania ends up averaging out to. WrestleMania 26 averages out to a 5.4. So again, it's very unfortunate because you have a lot of great 7s and 6s and even a 9 out of 10 on here. Those last two are just bad. Those bottom two are bad. No further diagnosis needed. So 5.4, pretty damn good given the state of the card here. But listen, the rest of the next few WrestleManias are absolute bangers. Enjoy them while they're here because eventually we're going to get to some not so good WrestleManias and we're going to be missing these. So until tomorrow, my friends, with WrestleMania 27, I shall see you then. Have a good night.